it's me, Alex, the stay-at-home reader, and yesterday I filmed my first quarter reading wrap-up, spent all afternoon, wasn't thrilled with it, but felt like it had to get out there. I have not posted a single reading wrap-up video yet this year, so there was quite a bit to talk about. And then I goofed and got rid of files before the edited video was done processing, so I lost it all. I lost everything but the thumbnail. So today was raining a lot this morning. It's already cleared up. Hopefully the baseball field's dry because my son has a game, but the gray morning, and there was like utility work being done right in front of the house, convinced me it was a lazy stay home type day to watch some booktube and refilm this video. So that's what we're doing today, my first quarter reading wrap up for 2024. Let me pull up my story graph. I should have done that already. You get to watch me. According to Storygraph, my most read moods so far this year, and honestly it's probably going to continue to hold, emotional, reflective, and dark. That is the perfect book for me. Like, hit those three moods and I'm probably going to love it. The next popular grouping would be adventurous, sad, and mysterious. Okay. Lighthearted, funny, challenging, get the next like wedge slice, tense. I like a tense book. And then informative, and there's a little sliver for hopeful. What does that say about me? I don't know. Yeah, hopeful sounds cheesy, I guess. I'm just in that place in my life. Give me dark, give me emotional. I think I mentioned in a book tag video I posted, the perfect book to me is something that gives me feelings, makes me cry. Oh my gosh, I just finished a book that had me sobbing. But that's for May, so we're not going to talk about it today. My most popular genre, or most frequent genre, is literary fiction, followed by fantasy. I think I've read a few books that have like a speculative like edge, like a literary fantasy, not too many like high fantasy, although I did get to Lord of the Rings, which is like the granddaddy high epic fantasy, and I do want to continue with that series. Let's get into my month by month. So in January, here is a little photo collage of all the books I read in January. So just by title and rating, and then I will come back at some other point and probably do like my favorite reads of the first half of the year, so I have a little bit more time to get those thoughts together. So the first book I read was The Woman Who Lives in the Earth by Swain Wolf. This I gave 3 stars. I moved on to Salt and Broom by Sharon Lynn Fisher. This I also gave 3 stars. Galatea by Madeline Miller. Really, really tiny, like size of the book wise, and just very short, is 56 pages. Anyway, 5 star. That was the first taste of Madeline Miller, and I'm hooked. I'm hooked. I listened to Jane Eyre. This is a reread. 5-star. I'm pretty confident that anytime I go to Jane Eyre, I'm going to walk away giving it a 5-star. Even though I know it has faults. I know it's not perfect. Every time I read it, I kind of focus on a different theme or feeling or character. And this last reread, I was just having fun with the drama, and I got stuck thinking what a perfect Mexican novella this would make. I listened to a romance novel, Curves for Days by Laura Moore, and gave it 3 stars. I also listened to On Palestine by Ilan Pappé and Noam Chomsky and gave this 4 stars. This was published in 2015, so it could use some updating, but definitely worth listening to as someone who had no history or previous knowledge. Pedagogy of the Oppressed by Paulo Freire, I did not like. That one got 1.75 stars. Just missed that 2-star, like I didn't like it, but I could see the point or what it was doing. I could see it. I could see that point that would have gotten it 2 stars, but it never quite reached it. There is a vlog. I think I did a mid-month book bash vlog in January, and I was reading that book. Earth Eater by Dolores Reyes, 1.5 stars. Another one that I could see a story in there, but I don't think it did a good job, and I know that there was a message and a point that it was trying to make, and I don't think it achieved that, in my opinion. The 10,000 Doors of January, 3.5 stars. That was a book club read, and I feel like just the fact that it's a book club read boosts the enjoyment level of a book, because I love getting together and discussing books. I listened to Minor Detail by Adania Shibli, and this one I gave 4 stars, although I think about it often, so maybe that one should be 5 stars. Numamushi, a fairy tale by Mina Ikimoto Ghosh. I don't have a star rating on my Storygraph, but I know it was a 5-star read. And Bug by Giacomo Sartori. 2 stars. I did not like this. Moving on to February. February was a much better reading month. Started with Pineapple Street. This was an audiobook. So yeah, Pineapple Street by Jenny Jackson was a 5-star read. The Prophet of Yanwood. This is the 3rd in the Book of Ember series that I'm slowly, have not gone back to, but slowly making my way through with the kids. This one in particular took us months to get through the audiobook, partly because of schedule, partly because the library took back the audiobook loan, and then we had to go on a waiting list to get it again. And now the library doesn't even have the audiobooks anymore on Libby, so I think that license expired altogether. Anyway, 2 stars for The Prophet of Yanwood. The Color Purple by Alice Walker, I gave 5 stars. Made me want to rewatch the back in the day movie. I have no interest in seeing a musical. It seems like a weird story to make a musical out of. I'm not a musical person. I don't know. I listened to The Probability of Everything. This is on Karen's recommendation. It was really good. I spoiled myself for a really big thing. Really big thing. So don't read reviews for the probability of everything. Don't read reviews, just go into it. The English Understand Wool, another short story by Helen DeWitt, I gave 4 stars. I found it hilarious, like really dryly hilarious. Mouse, A Survivor's Tale, I read volume 1, My Father Bleeds History, by Art Spiegelman, and gave it 3.5 stars. Another graphic novel, this was an anthology, The Color of Always, an LGBTQIA+ love anthology. I gave this one no stars. I'll have to go back and add it. Probably a 3. I read Hell of a Book by Jason Mott, and that was a hell of a book, hell of a ride, 5 stars. And then I attended a virtual author event hosted by the Library Speakers Consortium. I don't remember what it's called, but that was great. He was great. 5 stars, which I'm so glad, because my book club previously tried to read some of his other books. Well, one of his other books, it's part of a trilogy that a TV series was based off of, The Returned, and that was a DNF for me, and the majority of the book club felt like it was missing something. So hell of a book, completely different story, and 5 freaking stars. I listened to Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone and gave it 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it. It was fun. Haven't decided if I'm going to continue with this series. I probably will at some point continue on and listen to the train one. The next one by Ernest Cunningham. Then I read Yellowface. This was a book club read. 5 stars. It was amazing. I'll talk about that in like a favorites of the year video, I'm sure. A middle grade, I think, novel and verse, They Call Me Weirdo, Border Kids Poems by David Bowles. 3.5 stars. This is my 14-year-old's book. He got it through a class he's doing online, so I read it along with him, or ahead of him. And then my last read for February is Monstrilio, 4 stars. That was a weird book. Let me know if you've read it. Kind of gives me Frankenstein vibes. Like, it's a horror, kind of violent, but it's one of those monster books where it's like, who is the monster? Like, the monster is more endearing than the people. So maybe I might have to boost the star rating on that, but no, I think 4 stars is accurate. And we've made it to March. Started March with Swamplandia. This was a 5-star prediction. It ended up being, I think, a 3.75 stars. To be honest, I have not stopped thinking about it. The beginning of the book is beautiful. The middle is boring. And the ending was intense. So it didn't quite hit that 5-star level that I thought it would. 3.75 stars. Maybe 4. The writing was gorgeous, like on a sentence level. Gorgeous. It reminded me of Geek Love by Catherine Dunn, which is another one that, like, based on the first half of the book, would have thought 5 stars, and then went, like, crashed and burned. Next book was 5 stars. Interesting Facts About Space by Emily Austin. Listen to the audiobook. Excellent. I want to buy a copy just to annotate and mark up the way I did with her previous book. everyone in this room will someday be dead. So I think Emily Austen's a favorite author, like an auto-buy author. Except I don't auto-buy books because I buy used books and I feel bad spending money. Anyway, Western Lane by Chetna Maru. This was my first read audiobook off of the Women's Prize for Fiction long list. 2.75 stars. Termouche by Sven Holm. I'm definitely going to talk about in a favorite books of the year. 5 stars. Very short, 116 pages. Shorty September. Put this on your TBR. Enter Ghost by Isabella Hamad. Another Women's Prize long list. Now short list. Probably winner. 3.75 stars. I'm not a Shakespeare fan. I'm not a theater person. I don't like plays. And so that probably detracted a little bit from it. And I think I wanted more emotion out of this character. I want to talk about the Women's Prize books at another time in more detail. This is supposed to be quick. Fellowship of the Ring. J.R.R. Tolkien, obviously. 5 stars. Reread, 5 stars. Another one that's going to be 5 stars no matter how many times you read it. I think it gets better with each read, honestly. Tolkien drops like Easter eggs and little foreshadowing throughout the whole book that is just masterful. Oh my god, it's so good. So good. Hangman by Maya Binyam. Not so good. 2.75 stars. But a 2.75 star book I want to reread. I knew where it was going. The twist I picked up on. Just based on the tone. We'll talk about it later. Ordinary Human Failings. Women's Prize, 4.25 stars. 8 Lives of a Century-Old Trickster. Another Women's Prize long list book. 3.75 stars. That one was actually a surprise. I did not think I would like this one. And I liked it quite a bit. Pines by Blake Crouch. This is the first in a trilogy. I left book club thinking I would continue on in the trilogy, but I've had no interest in that since. And so 3.5 stars. I read some Edgar Allan Poe. Didn't like it. So I have marked on Storygraph that I read the romantic writings of Edgar Allan Poe. Actually, I read from a complete works, like it's like this big, complete works of Edgar Allan Poe, that has all his short stories, all his poems. But obviously I wasn't going to read the whole book of that. So what I did was on Hoopla, found a collection, and just whatever was included in that collection, I read out of my copy and then was able to mark that book done on Storygraph. Anyway, 2 stars. I like his poetry. His short stories, not so much. And before reading it, I had watched a biography on him with the kids in preparation for our road trip to Baltimore, thinking we would go sightseeing and go to his house museum in Baltimore, go see his grave. Yeah, he was crazy. And my kids had no interest, and honestly, I had no interest after learning more about him. I knew he was dark, I knew he was creepy, I knew he was a weirdo, romantic, super goth. But, his wife was his cousin, first of all, and 12 when he fell in love with her. I think maybe 14 or 16 when they got married. I mean, guy, yikes. The Rats of Nim, Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim. Oh, Storygraph says this is a book 1 of a Rats of Nim series. Did not know it was a series. Reread from, I read this as a child and had seen the movie. So I assigned this to my 12-year-old, probably a little bit old for it, but we read the book together, watched the movie together, and then worked on a writing assignment comparing the two. So homeschool, read along. I gave it 4 stars. It's a fun, cute, like I remember loving it in like the 4th or 5th grade. He's 7th grade now, so he's a little bit too old. Anyway, The Uncensored Picture of Dorian Gray. I don't have a star rating on here, but I think I landed on 3 stars. I keep another spreadsheet, and I'm pretty sure on there I have it marked as 3 stars. And the last book in March was a graphic novel, Hades Persephone story called Punderworld by Linda Sajic. I think I forgot to give author names, but we're fine. We're fine here, right? So that wraps up my first quarter of 2024. All the books I read. There were a couple DNFs. That'll be discussed another time. Maybe. If I remember to make videos. Which, let's be honest, I don't do regularly. Sorry, but thanks for watching when I do. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.